space Nazis fighting giant bugs, a shower scene that traumatized parents everywhere, and propaganda so effective it convinced millions of viewers to miss the satire entirely. In 1997, Paul Verhoeven didn't just make an action movie. He created a fascist fever dream disguised as a blockbuster, and half the audience cheered for the wrong side. Starship Troopers became one of the most misunderstood masterpieces of the 90s, blending over-the-top action with biting political commentary. These are the cinema secrets you missed in Starship Troopers.
The enemy cannot push a button if you disable his hand.
Number 1. The 90-second bug test greenlit the film. The studio was skeptical until they saw a 90-second bug test, a single soldier fighting two bugs. Executives were so blown away, they didn't realize the bugs were CGI, thinking they were practical effects. This was when computer-generated imagery was still relatively new, and that brief test clip convinced TriStar to greenlight the entire production. Without those 90 seconds, one of cinema's greatest satires might never have been made. Number 2, more ammo than any film before it. The battle scenes fired over 300,000 blank rounds during production, a world record at the time. No film had ever used that much ammunition. The constant gunfire, the endless streams of bullets, the sheer volume of violence. It's meant to be overwhelming and desensitizing. By the end, you're numb to death, which is exactly the point Verhoeven wanted to make about how propaganda normalizes violence. Number 3, the shower scene was banned from RoboCop. That co-ed shower scene that made teenage boys lose their minds. Verhoeven actually tried to include something similar in the first RoboCop, but was denied. He shifted the idea to Starship Troopers to demonstrate complete gender equality in this society. Women can die horrifically in battle too. But look closer at the composition. Those shower handles hang at head height, deliberately framed to resemble nooses. It's foreshadowing the inevitable death awaiting everyone who serves. When Ace says he's going career, while his head appears centered in a noose shape, it's not accidental. Number 4, the Klendathu battle happens exactly at 1 hour. Verhoeven said he intentionally front-loaded the film with fun, adventure, and camaraderie for the first hour, then hit audiences with the brutal reality of war at exactly the 1 hour mark. The Klendathu massacre begins at 1 o'clock on the runtime. Everything before is seduction, everything after is horror. He wanted viewers to feel betrayed. You were sold a fun action movie, and suddenly you're watching limbs getting ripped off and 100,000 soldiers dying in an hour. Number 5. Carl's makeup gets more skeletal. If you compare Carl's appearance at the start versus the end, the makeup team made him progressively paler with darker circles around his eyes. By the final scenes, he looks skeletal, almost like the Grim Reaper. This visual transformation reflects his moral decay. He admits to sending soldiers to their deaths just to scout for brain bugs, and his pale, death-like appearance symbolizes that he's become an agent of death himself. Number 6. The brain bug looks like a baby on purpose. The brain bug has large eyes and a chubby, almost infant-like appearance. Humans are biologically programmed to find big eyes and chubbiness cute. It triggers protective instincts. Verhoeven deliberately designed the brain bug this way to create sympathy. When it winces in fear at the end while humans cheer, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable. The creature that's been portrayed as the ultimate enemy suddenly looks vulnerable and scared. It's meant to make you question who the real monsters are. Number 7. The opening is Nazi propaganda. The Federal Network logo opens the film, immediately telling you the military controls all information. But the real shock comes seconds later. That image of soldiers standing in formation is a direct visual homage to Triumph of the Will, Leni Riefenstahl's infamous Nazi propaganda film. The German line, "I'm doing my part," even appears. Paul Verhoeven was born in 1938 and grew up in Nazi-occupied Netherlands during World War II, living in The Hague, where German headquarters carried out fascist atrocities. Every propaganda segment, every military commercial, every recruitment ad throughout the film pulls directly from techniques the Third Reich perfected. Verhoeven wasn't subtle. He was showing you exactly what the society represented. On number 8. Buenos Aires is full of white people on purpose. Why are there so many white people in Buenos Aires? Casper Van Dien discussed this detail, suggesting Johnny might be a descendant of Nazi war criminals who fled to Argentina after World War II. which famously became a hiding place for them. But the real answer is likely that the Federation invaded or colonized Argentina and displaced the locals. The film is set in the 23rd century, and the implication is that this fascist government conquered South America. Even the name Rico, which means rich in Spanish, is ironic. He's a wealthy kid playing at being a soldier. Number 9. The kids stomping bugs aren't playing. Early propaganda shows children gleefully stomping bugs while a teacher watches maniacally. This isn't cute. It's indoctrination. The kids are being taught that exterminating an entire species is not just acceptable, but fun. It's genocide training disguised as playtime, and it's one of the most disturbing images in the film if you actually think about what you're watching. Number 10. The asteroid attack might be a false flag. The Buenos Aires meteor strike is used to justify invading Clendathu, but think about the logistics. The bugs would have to control an asteroid through an asteroid belt, calculate the trajectory across millions of light years, predict Earth's position in space by the time it arrived, and account for the asteroid's speed and gravitational variables. These are impossibly complex calculations for a species that doesn't appear to have space travel technology. Earth's defenses easily shot down earlier meteors shown in propaganda clips. Why did they fail this time? The film never answers whether the bugs actually attacked, or if the Federation let it happen, or caused it themselves to justify invasion. Either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is how the strike was weaponized to manufacture consent for war. Number 11. Come on, you apes, is a real quote. Come on, you apes, you want to live forever? Is spoken twice, once by Rasak, once by Rico at the film's end. It's actually a famous real-world quote from Dan Daly during the Battle of Belleau Wood before charging Germans. Daly was a Medal of Honor recipient, and the sentiment is that glory lives forever, so dying in battle makes your legend eternal. Rico repeating it at the end shows he's been fully indoctrinated into this mentality. Number 12. The uniforms are deliberately Nazi-inspired. The Federation uniforms aren't just militaristic, they're specifically designed to echo SS officer attire. The long coats, the sharp lines, the eagle symbols positioned just like German insignia. Carl's later costume looks like an Indiana Jones villain because he's literally dressed like a Gestapo officer. Even the color schemes match: black, gray, and that specific shade of green the Nazis favored. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy prominently featured in recruitment ads? A direct callback to Hitler Youth propaganda. Verhoeven wasn't being coy about his influences. Number 13. Rashok deliberately killed his own sergeant. Theory time. Lieutenant Raskzak wanted to replace his sergeant with Rico, so he sent the sergeant to his death. Watch the scene carefully. Raskzak sees rocks tumbling down the cliff, indicating something's causing movement up there. He immediately sends the sergeant up to establish a radio relay, even though the outpost is literally right around the corner. When the sergeant is being killed by a bug, Rasak shoots him instead of the bug, despite having plenty of time to kill the creature first. This ties back to his earlier line, "Disobey me, and I'll shoot you myself." He wasn't joking. He wanted Rico in command and eliminated an obstacle to make it happen. Number 14. The internet wasn't supposed to laugh upon release. Many critics and audiences missed the satire entirely, taking the film at face value as a pro-military action movie. Some even called it fascist propaganda, which it technically is, but ironically. The film was meant to be so over the top that audiences would recognize the parody, but many didn't. It bombed at the box office partly because viewers felt uncomfortable without understanding why. Only years later did the film find its cult audience, who understood Verhoeven was mocking fascism, not celebrating it. Number 15. The bugs might actually be victims. If the asteroid wasn't sent by bugs, which is likely, then humanity is the aggressor in this war. The bugs are defending their home from invaders who showed up and started killing them. The Mormons established a colony on Clendathu. That's colonization, not the bugs attacking humans. When a wounded bug screams in pain or the brain bug looks terrified, Verhoeven is asking you to consider, are we the baddies? Number 16. The trial scene reveals no due process. A murderer was captured and tried today. Listen to that phrasing carefully. Captured, tried, and with an execution scheduled for 6 p.m. the same day. There's no time for investigation, appeals, or anything resembling justice. This society doesn't question the state because the state is absolute. It's a chilling detail most viewers miss because it flashes by so quickly, buried between other propaganda segments. Number 17. Bugs and humans mirror each other. The film constantly draws parallels between the bugs and humans. Both operate on a hierarchical structure. The brain bug controls everything, like military brass. Flying bugs provide support, like pilots, and warrior bugs are expendable ground troops, like infantry. Both species send millions to die for the goals of a few at the top. The bugs have a literal hive mind. Humans have been indoctrinated into a metaphorical one through propaganda. When you realize this, the film's message becomes clear. We are not so different from the monsters we're fighting. Number 18. The love triangle was cut for being too offensive. Test audiences went absolutely mental when they saw Carmen and Xander starting a relationship after Johnny was presumed dead. The scenes were so controversial they got cut from the film, though you can still feel tension between Carmen and Xander throughout. Audiences weren't ready to see the female lead move on so quickly, even though the film was trying to show how the military mindset prioritized career over personal relationships. Which secret shocked you most? And did you catch the satire on your first viewing, or did it take years to click? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, service guarantees citizenship. Now like, subscribe, and share before the brain bug gets you. Thanks for watching.